Morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Just a quick update here, quick reminder. Tomorrow we are going to have a live show related to the David Crowley case. So hopefully you all can join us tomorrow with Mr. William Rail. He'll be with me, and we're going to go over the BCA lab reports for the most part. And of course, we'll be able to talk about anything that we want to. And if anyone wants to join us in the chat room and bring up anything about the David Crowley case, please feel free to join us for that. So I can adjust this a little bit. All right, much better. So just wanted to remind everyone about that. Hope you all will be able to join us live, as long as we're able to live stream on YouTube. So far, so good. You just never know with YouTube. Sometimes they like videos, sometimes they ban videos. They ban a portion or your video gets banned because of something that's in it. And you just never know what fun and exciting things YouTube will bring us. So I do hope everybody is ready for 2021. What can we expect to come next, right? I've also been doing some more thinking about a documentary on the David Crowley case, what that would involve. And every time that I start writing down some notes and things like that, it just becomes a little overwhelming. So thankfully, yesterday's notes that I wrote are not too overwhelming. It actually is making me excited about a documentary on the case. So mum's the word on that. Don't tell anybody that we are working on that. Anyways, so tomorrow we'll be going over the 40-page BCA lab analysis. And like I said, William Rail will be joining me, one of our newer members. He does live streams on Twitch, covers a lot of investigations and things like that. So if you're on Twitch, make sure that you check him out. I think it's called Strange Investigations, if I remember correctly. So I'll try to put a link to that here somewhere. I had no idea what Twitch was, but I wanted to check out his live stream, and it was pretty cool. Not bad. So maybe one of these days we'll try one of those. So hopefully it'll be like a simulcast, maybe where he'll be simulcasting on his channel, or we'll have to figure all of that out, how all of that works, or maybe he can replay it on his channel or whatever. But hope to do some collaboration with him on this. Sorry, I can see my hair is really growing out here. I've not had a haircut in almost a year now because I refuse to sit in a chair with a mask on. I'd rather just put on my old beanie here at some point. But that's the deal with that. So anyways, lots of great updates, I hope, that we will be able to share regarding the David Crowley case coming up soon. And you just never know. Still working on some more videos to kind of simplify the case to people who are just learning about it, just getting caught up, or people who have been tricked into thinking that David Crowley is guilty. Also on the 1st, we will release the next podcast, the Gray Stage podcast, which will cover the first half of the office bedroom chapter of my book, The Gray Stage. So that's, I believe it's pages 57 to about page 60 is what we cover. And by the end of that show, we will have covered all 3 of the quote-unquote writings inside of the Crowley residence. So that's another big point there, because by this point, now that we've covered it, everybody, I'm sure, has been waiting to see where the evidence points that David Crowley wrote any of this stuff. And of course, big spoiler, what you're going to find out is that there is no evidence that he wrote any of it. Unfortunately, for the people who want us to believe that David Crowley is guilty, their trick is not working. And so the longer that we keep this case going, the longer that we make sure this case has a pulse, the more people, good people, the more independent investigators, curious people, researchers, they will take their own view on this case. So that's always a good thing. It's always a good thing to get more people involved and see what type of conclusions or questions they come up with. So I'll be curious to hear what William Rail says tomorrow on our live show, our first live show together, which will be on this YouTube channel. Always backed up at some point to the Gray Stage YouTube channel. So that's still my go-to. And working on maybe another channel dedicated to just the Gray Stage podcast. So if you haven't subscribed to the Gray Stage podcast yet, hopefully one day you will, and check that out on either iTunes, Spotify, all of those places. So wherever you get your podcast from, Google Play. A lot of these ones I've never heard of, actually. They're popping up there as well. But to get it to iTunes, I think for me was a big deal. So I was really happy once it was able to go on to iTunes. It just makes it easier. We just want to make it as easy as possible for people who want to dive into this case, take a deep dive or a small dive or an uneducated dive. That's fine. We all did at some point. We all started somewhere. And so that's what these videos are meant to do. The best ones will help you get caught up on this case quickly, easily. I did make, I think it was like a very short 3-minute intro video, just kind of covering all of the missing facts that aren't there when people talk about David Crowley being guilty. You know, it's really easy to say that he's guilty, but it's another thing to actually prove it or to back it up with some factual documents, some evidence, anything like that. And everyone who has accused David Crowley of doing that has failed. And I am happy that they have failed, because in this country we are innocent until proven guilty. And if you're going to accuse somebody, you better be able to back it up. And if you can't, it's okay to admit that you're wrong, because yes, you are wrong. And that's fine. At some point in our life, we're all wrong. We all make mistakes and we all mess up. But it's how we deal with that now. It's how we deal with the fact that you all have accused to anyone who has accused David Crowley of being guilty. It's time for you to confess. Confess your sins, that you are wrong. Hey, DeWhip lady, nice to hear from you. Driving, hope you and your family have a great holidays. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I hope you and your family have a great holiday too. I hope you have and will continue to have a great holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Turkey Day, and let's get ready to make 2021 the best year that we can. We have a chance to kind of hit that reset button and kind of take a deep breath, let 2020 end as we venture into 2021, which unfortunately will not get better. It will get worse. This is the way of the world. The world does not get better. It does continually get worse, but humanity gets better. People get better. We get stronger. And hopefully we get better at what we do. Take the lessons learned and apply them to the future of our life. So thank you for that. I really appreciate you for mentioning that about how much time we have put into this case, because we have put a lot of time and effort into this case. Almost 6 years now. If you think about it, January 17th, 2021, it will have been 6 years since the bodies have been found. And I believe we've made a lot of progress, a lot of victories. You know, every day since we started looking into this case is a victory won, because we never gave up. We never gave in. We always kept an open mind to what really happened with David Crowley and his family, especially his daughter, and his wife, whether you like David Crowley or not, whether you hate David Crowley or not. It's not really about that. It is just about finding the evidence that proves David Crowley guilty. So 6 years later, nobody has been able to do that, including the Apple Valley Police, including the BCA, including everyone. So that is where we began. That is where we have continually come back to, is just looking for that evidence. And um, it's just not there, people. It's not there then. It's not there now. People want to poke holes and kind of be critical and cast some criticism towards us and all that. That's all fine, but none of that, proves David Crowley guilty. It's just any of the naysayers and what I call the haters. They need to realize when we call them out on their BS, we're just stating, we're not hating, as a popular wrestler by the name of Conan often says. Just stating, not hating. And that is true, because this is not about hate. This is just about truth. And we've always been about trying to get to the truth as much as we can. Like I said, nothing wrong with admitting that you are wrong when you are wrong. And that, you might have gotten things wrong. And I hope everybody who believes David Crowley is guilty will admit that they're wrong or admit that they're full of crap. Now, if they want to keep staying on that line that David Crowley is guilty and that's it, and all they're going to do is just try to poke holes in, the comments and little things that we talk about, notice what they try to poke holes in and notice what they don't. And I think that's where you'll figure out their motivation, and their real purpose here is not for truth. It's not to help you. It's to trick you. And so we're going to call those people out continually. And we can do that without feeling like we're wasting time or being distracted, because it only takes a couple seconds, and usually people see right through it. I mean, there's really not too many people that see right through it. From day one, I knew he wouldn't do that, and I don't even know them. Yeah. I kind of took the opposite approach, where I kind of was thinking, okay, they must have something, right? If they're going to accuse David Crowley within 24 hours, all the news media, certain friends, not all friends, but certain friends, certain family, not all family either, they're just going to accept that he's guilty. And okay, well, let me understand why they believe that. And every time they've failed, because there is no evidence in that. That's why they won't debate me, and they're very smart. One of the smartest things they would ever do in this world is not to debate me, because they would lose. They've already lost. So all they need to do is leave the dark side and join the light side and come to this side, come to the right side, where we are seeking truth, justice for this family. And that's what we're going to get. And we already have it. It's already here. Whether it's in the criminal courts or whether it's wherever you want to put it, anyone that looks at this case can clearly see that David Crowley is not guilty. So that is a piece of justice, and that is a part of the history of this case. And so thank you all who have continually helped us, who have continually supported all of our efforts. We've done this together. It's not just about me. It's not just about you, not just about one person. It's just about getting justice. And together, we have had victory after victory after victory, defeating the enemy who cannot prove David Crowley guilty. And all we have to do is stay the course for the rest of our life. So, yes, I did manage to get an email to Kathleen Zellner. I have not heard back. I don't know what the turnaround rate for that is, but maybe if I don't hear back, maybe I'll consider sending another email. And maybe maybe what I wrote was not the best, because I did write it quick. So maybe I need to really sit down and maybe write something better on it, something that will kind of let her know, something to let her know that this case should stand out. But if you have any thoughts about that, what kind of works, I don't know. I don't really know that much about her, to be honest, but only from what you've told me. So I do appreciate that. And if you think there's anyone else that I should reach out to, please let me know. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I appreciate all of your help, Dilip. I know I missed one of your comments, so I'm going to take a few steps back here before I drop out. I just hope one day someone with a good heart when I will take this and proof and everyone will be wrong that you were right. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much there. So we're just, waiting for the investigators, for somebody in law enforcement, something like that to, finally step up. And I think the problem is a lot of them aren't going to do it unless they're forced to, but they just make themselves look bad by not doing that. I get it, but it's the old ways. It's the old ways of doing things that need to pass, and these new ways that we're doing it, reaching the people, reaching out directly to the people, not with clickbait stuff, not with videos aimed at just the wildest conspiracies or anything like that. Um, we're just being truthful, being honest, and people can do with it what they will. But the truth is the truth, and so you can't silence the truth. Even Danny Mason understands that the truth cannot be silenced. So, lots of good things in the works. I hope you'll be able to join us tomorrow. That will be at around 11:30, 12 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow, which is I don't even know what tomorrow is. Today's the 30th, so that would be the last day of 2020, December 31st at 12 p.m., around 12 p.m. Make sure that you join us here. I'll put up the link soon so you can set your reminder just in case for whatever reason YouTube decides not to remind you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it unsubscribes people. All that stuff, none of that is going to stop us from just staying the course. And good people, that's all we have to do here. That's it. We've got about 4,000 people in the Justice for David Crowley and Family Facebook group. That doesn't include all the other people that are helping us quietly on the sidelines here. So God bless you all. Thank you all. Right now it is 12. Actually, right now it's 12 p.m. So about this time tomorrow, come back and join us here. And if you have any questions or any comments that you want to leave as we're going live, please make sure that you do. I always love to interact with people in the chat room. Sometimes I go to other chat rooms and it's difficult because I have a lot of people, and it's easy to get lost in those chats. So I do, and that happens to us too sometimes, but I will try to make sure to get to as many of the questions and comments in the chat to make it as interactive with the chat room as possible when William and myself go live. And if Sophia or Catherine or Dan, if they have time, if they want to join us, they are welcome to join us. If you want to join us, if anybody wants to join us, let me know. Send me a message if you're in the Justice for David Crowley group. Let me know that you'd like to come on to the call, and I'll make sure that you get the call-in number, and we'll go through the BCA report together. It's a 40-page report. You can find it on my website, thegraystage.wordpress.com. You can download it right now, and we're just going to read what the BCA did. They went through the house, what they found, the DNA, all the stuff they swabbed, everything they collected, and, of course, what they tested, and more importantly, what they didn't test, and the missing DNAs. At least two missing DNAs on the items that they tested. Imagine if they would have tested, I think Sophia said they only tested 16 or 17 items out of, 40, maybe 50 items. So we'll go over that, and imagine if they would have tested all of the items, would they have found more missing DNA or more extra DNA, a DNA source that was not David, Kamel, or Rania? I'll bet you the haters never talk about that. I bet you they never talk about the real facts of this case. It's always trying to go back to, well, maybe the dog did it. Well, we have these reports that the dog could have done it. Of course the dog could have done it. None of that. If the dog did everything that it is accused of, none of that proves David Crowley guilty. So it's always about sidestepping, and we're really trying to stay that course to say, look, read the evidence, look at the evidence, you can clearly see it. And beyond that, then we go into all these other things. We talk about everything, all the speculation, all the theories. We talk about all that. But staying the course, it doesn't take very, very long to just see, okay, What proves David Crowley guilty? What proves that he's innocent? And as long as you stay there, anything beyond that is fine. But I think it's people who just they don't want to believe that David Crowley is innocent. And it's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. It is retarded. It's very retarded. You cannot tell me that you are a sane, rational person and then go and say, I've looked at all the documents and no, there's nothing here to prove David Crowley guilty, but I'm still going to believe that he's guilty. There's no logic in that. There's no truth in that. It's lies, it's deceit. It's the worst thing you could do, and you're lying to yourself is the main thing. We have people who always tell us to move on, it's time to move on and all that. They're the ones who can't move on. If you know David Crowley is not guilty, yet you still want to act like he is, you'll never be able to move on. Ever. And that's sad. So come join us. Join the light side. Step away from the darkness. Step out of the shadows. No need to contact people privately. No need to try to trick them into thinking David Crowley is guilty by saying, the dog could have done it, or this could have happened, or that could have happened. Anything could have happened. Aliens could have came down and did this, right? But what do the facts show you? What do the facts say? What do the facts say? What do they show? Go on that. Start there. Can you chip away at that? No. Not unless there's anything to show David Crowley guilty, and there isn't, good people. God bless you all. We'll be back here tomorrow.